bullshit together. Oh, okay. So, are we recording? Yes, we're recording.
Mhm.
I guess I do an intro. Yeah, I should do an intro.
Why not?
What up, everybody? This your boy B Rob, and I'm back with another edition of the Random Rambles with Rob podcast. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, the listener, for coming back each and every week, or however you listen to podcasts. If you're a first time listener, I'd like to thank you oh so much for giving my show a try. And if anybody recommended you to me, I would like for you to give that person a crisp high five. But if you're not in that person's general vicinity or whatnot, you can pick up your favorite social media app of choice and you can send that person a well-crafted DM telling them thank you for recommending you to me. Speaking of social media, you can find the Random Rambles with Rob on various social media platforms to include Twitter X Twitter, at 3R Show, Instagram at The 3R Show, and you can find video interviews like you might be looking at right now on YouTube by searching 3R Show. For anything that I may have forgotten to mention, you can go to randomrob.com, to where you can find many different ways to help support the show. The guest list of people who have been on the show, which I need to severely update because this man to my virtual right or left has been on here 2 times already, counting today. And he ain't on the page, so all right. But go to randomrob.com and you can find all that cool stuff, plus the sponsor, if they still hanging around or whatever. I ain't heard from them in eons. Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. Go to hooksrub.com if that's even still the website. I had to look at that myself. But if that's still the website and you can get on your Google machine, I know you're trendy, you're good with your technology. Search Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. So you can go to hooksrub.com and you can get 15% off your order if you use promo code RANDOM. With all that out of the way, we're back. Because last time I was here, we were talking about the New Japan Cup. It hadn't happened yet. We already did our bracket predictions. And we are already on the other side of the New Japan Cup. We already have a winner declared and everything. And the main event is set for what, Sakura Genesis or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we just want to kind of review and go over what we got right, what we got wrong, and just chat about it a little bit. So joining me to my virtual left, my on-screen right, I guess, is the man, the myth, KAZ Wheeler.
Yeah, backed by popular demand.
Yep.
And I think the best way to start this is this right here. If you can see, here's I got my bracket right here in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to, because
Ah,
I don't know shit.
yeah, this was a weird one, man. I mean, we had some logical picks and everything, and just kind of like beyond the bracket to kind of like what we kind of predicted or kind of talked about, just because of what was presented on New Japan television and whatnot. But yeah, I'm happy with the results. But as
I
far as
know you
brackets
are.
wise, it's a whole different thing.
Oh yeah. I looked okay in the first round, and then it just all went to shit, which is kind of similar to how the March Madness bracket's going for me this year. So I maybe need to stop predicting tournaments because I'm not I'm not good at it apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I this is much like multiple choice for me or whatever, or just testing in general. Because like I have knowledge of things,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I can retain and just kind of like present that knowledge in the correct manner or whatnot. But if you put a test in front of me, multiple choice or other, I'm like, I'm gonna flub the fuck out of that. I'm gonna fail because I second guess myself. Just and that's kind of what I equate this bracket bullshit to. Is just like I seen the choices, and I was like, I know this could be the answer, but I second guess myself every fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
But shit, Well, I mean, let's kind of go through. I found my scrap piece of paper that I had balled up somewhere in here. I got kind of nervous because I thought I lost it because there was some other pertinent information on the back of it. But yeah, so let's go to the first round or whatnot. I know Sonata had a bye and everything. And who was that first official match?
Was Yoshihashi.
All right. So Yoshihashi beat out who?
He beat Kenta.
All right, yeah. So I predicted that. I had that here on my sheet of paper. What?
Yes, you did, and I got that one wrong. That was not a great start for me.
Yeah, so it's just like we talked about it last time when we was coming up with this or whatever. It's just like, what the fuck is happening with Kenta?
That's a good question.
I don't know, man. It's just like this is not what I expected from him, you know, post WWE, or just even just the allure of what Kenta brought to Japan in general was just massive. I mean, people were excited for him to be back in Japan because they were expecting the Kenta of old, and we have got nothing. We haven't got anything like that.
No, I mean, and a lot of it. I mean, obviously, it's injuries. I mean, his body's just broken down.
Oh yeah, and that's weird because like a lot of that stuff he sustained stateside with NXT.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, it just kind of cratered his career over here, and then it just snowballed since then.
Yeah, so like that's weird too, because like just in current day NXT as well, a lot of the performers now are down there getting injured. MCLs, ACLs, freaking elbows or whatever, but mainly it's leg injuries and things like that. Maybe NXT is
yeah, I think there's more injuries in NXT than there is in most of the Japanese promotions at this point.
Or just wrestling in general. Because like I think it's like the old, because majority of these things have been leg injuries. So I'm thinking about it or whatnot. Whenever I heard from, you know, old timers or just, you know, people of older class school of pro wrestling training, it was a lot of leg training stuff that they did. A lot of squats, a lot of stair climbers, a lot of things like that or whatever. So I mean, this could be some correlation. You have trainers like Matt Bloom down there. He's an old school guy or whatever, pre-attitude era or attitude era wrestler or whatever. And I believe they got a couple of other old school trainers down there, and it might be some of that mindset. They're doing a lot of these leg exercises or whatever, and then they get out there and be like, oh, my leg spaghetti, arms weak, heavy, and all kinds of shit. And they fucking hurting themselves. So NXT, you need to revise your training strategy. You got your business acumen down. You're recruiting all the fine ladies and everything, which I firmly believe here in 2024 that NXT should be an all ladies show, but I digress. Anyway, what was the second round matchup for the left bracket?
Let's see. For Sonata, he had Jack Perry, who beat Shota and Yano.
Yeah, so that's what I got.
And yeah, you nailed that. Yeah, and I don't think either of us had Jack Perry joining House of Torture, but that is the thing that happened.
That is wild. So yeah, so I'm gonna be upfront with everybody that may be listening to this or whatnot. So Kaz has thoroughly went through the whole tournament and everything and watched majority of the stuff. I kind of came in on the back end due to, you know, scheduling constraints and whatnot. So I wasn't able to watch the thing as it unfolded or as in whole. So I went back and just kind of watched all the key marquee matches and everything. Cass provided me with a playlist to kind of go through or whatever. But I watched all the Jack Perry matches, you know, on the side, because I wanted to just see his performance outside of AEW and everything like that. And so when it came down to the end result or whatnot, I didn't have anything spoiled for the most part or whatnot, because I stayed off of social media and whatever. And I'm just kind of, you know, weird that we do podcasts and stuff and whatnot, but it's just like, I kind of been off of social media as a whole anyway. So a lot of the stuff didn't spoil my senses, but Jack Perry, just seeing that image of him surrounded by House of Torture surprised me, intrigued me, and it also worried me. But I mean, that's just New Japan's system, though. I mean, they run fight camps over there. You got to join a house, you got to join a camp, you got to join a club, or everything to kind of like, you know, I guess go from there. But now that Jack Perry, the scapegoat, is a part of House of Torture, I'm kind of hopeful in the slightest because you have 3 good building blocks there. You got Jack Perry, young guy. You got Sho, young guy. And you got Ren Narita there, young guy or whatever. So I'm hopeful for those 3 as a whole. And, you know, they're surrounded by some veterans, you know, former IWGP World Champion, Evil, and, you know, former tag team champions and things like that. So, I mean, they're getting the knowledge or whatever.
They are, yeah.
So, but just that array of people and how they're presented and how they interact with the product, I'm like,
Yeah, and that would end up being a storyline running through this entire tournament. Is House of Torture going to ruin everything for us once again?
Yeah, it is wild that because they, regardless of them being House of Torture, they are a subset of Bullet Club. So it's
yeah.
I mean, because I only say that because on their official website, NJPW freaking 1972, when you go to the profiles and you go to the factions list, they are all still listed under Bullet Club. They have not succeeded away from them. They have not separated. So, I mean,
it's fine that they can be whatever they want. Just be better, please.
Hey, I mean, as in life, you can be whatever you want to be, but just be better.
Here's what I actually, and this hurts me to say, I think it might have actually helped this tournament a little bit. Because you were just missing so many names that you're used to having from people leaving or being injured and stuff, that it at least kind of gave it some sort of through line the entire way.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, you lost Ospreay, you lost who else? Okada, which was like, wow. I mean, you hit New Japan over the head with that one or whatever.
And then, you know, Tama Tonga too, who's always in these.
Been a mainstay.
Yeah, instead we get Tonga Loa, and yeah, we got that. That was he had some matches that existed.
Which, you know, Jack Perry breezed through Yano, which I said it out loud. I put it on all my social media for the most part, that there's nothing wrong with losing to Toru Yano.
No. Everybody loses to Yano at some point.
At some point or whatever. Mox was undefeated. And I think he broke his undefeated streak with Yano, right?
Yeah. I think that was the first one, yeah.
So it's wild. But Perry rolled through those guys, and wasn't Finley had a match on that side of the bracket?
Yes. Finley had TJP and let me see. Yeah, TJP and Tonga Loa. But he did not get to his semifinal match.
Yeah.
Due to a illness, which completely threw my bracket off because I had David Finley winning this entire thing.
Yeah, and we did discuss that a little bit or whatever, just because of current storyline and everything that was going on with that portion of Bullet Club and whatnot. We foreseen that this tournament was a lock for David Finley, but due to unforeseen illness, he is out.
It's one of those things where I don't know, how much different does it go if he's not? Was this the original plan or not? I'd be very curious to know, because because Finley was kind of the odds favorite, it seemed.
Yeah, I mean that is a good question. Was this the plan regardless, or?
I mean, if it wasn't, they they switched
They
lanes
pivoted
pretty
very
easily. Yes,
well,
yes.
but I don't know. I mean, so like, because I don't have the bracket and stuff in front of me, I just have my picks here. Because I had
Mhm.
Finley advancing in that first round. Then I also had Great O'Khan advancing in that first round. I had Ishii advancing in that first round and Goto advancing in that first round.
Hmm. And speaking, just I have to bring up the Ishii match because at least that one I was right.
Yeah,
Chase Owens got his one win of the year.
you're right. You called that shot, and I mean, I think they even play with that a little bit from the commentary that I heard.
Hmm. Yeah, he even went into the second match saying, "I guarantee I'm going to win." Who's his second round was Goto. That's right.
Goto, yeah, because
Yep.
Goto had to go on the left
Yep.
side. But yeah, what did you say? Death, taxes, and Chase
And
winning the
Chase
first
Owens,
round.
and Chase Owens wins the first round. Absolutely.
But him and Goto would go off, which would propel Goto to who?
That moved him into the Finley match that got called off. So Goto got a bye
Yeah, he did.
into the into the semis against Sonata.
Yeah. All right. So that was the left side of the bracket for the most part, whatnot. So what we got on the right side, we had Evil had a bye, right?
Yes.
And then we had Hikuleo, which was my pick for the first round.
Hmm.
But did he win?
He did.
Because I picked it. That's why.
Yeah.
It's right here, but it's no white balance on this camera. See, there you go, Hikuleo.
Yeah, there it is, right there. Yep. Yeah,
And then
no,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I had Hikuleo too, and he what to say about Hikuleo? He's fine. He's
Yeah,
he's a guy who I think he's bound for other places.
yeah,
I don't think he's going to be a staple of
around
the company for
longer.
much longer. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I look at him just compared to the landscape of New Japan as a whole or whatever, and if he's not, and I'm not speaking to his like in ring skills, but like
Mhm,
just his look, just him as a person, as a being on my screen, to look at him and be like, why is he not the world champ?
mhm.
I mean, why is he even here? Because I mean, that's, just stature wise, just the look of him, that's where he should be. He should always be in the main title picture. But we know skill wise, career wise, that's not the right deal.
Yeah, he's not there yet.
But with the exit of his cousin or whatever, I mean, that leads to doors opened in other places or whatnot. I don't think
Mhm.
he is well served in AEW. I mean,
No,
we did get to see a little bit of him there, but like I don't think that's a fit for him. If you want to go the Impact route, I think that might be interesting,
mhm.
but WWE bound might be.
Yeah, I think he's got enough supporters there that that's probably the end game for him.
Yeah. So we'll
Which,
see.
yeah, I mean, they could, they might be able to do something interesting with him. I mean, he's, that's the type of guy that they look for.
Yeah, he has the tall, but like, so you got one domino falling with Tama leaving, supposedly WWE bound.
Mhm,
This could open the door for Hikuleo. I mean, we just agreed that he is a fit for that company.
mhm.
But what does that do for Tongaloa?
What does anything do for Tonga? I mean, honestly, I think he. Listen, just by the way he's wrestling, I think he's just working till that contract's over. And
I mean,
whenever that happens to be,
is that a stark contrast between working till your contract over and just normal working for him?
look, I mean,
You
I,
stuttering, bro.
I mean, I've seen him be good in tag matches, but I don't think he should be a singles wrestler for very long.
Yeah, just to
I,
see
I d-
him in tournament situations or whatnot,
mhm.
just those singles matches, I wasn't really impressed.
No, I think he is better in a tag where he can hide some of the weaknesses.
Yeah, I mean, and we talk about it. Well, especially I talk about that. Yeah, these situations they allow to hide weaknesses. Tag matches, hardcore matches, freaking street fights, all those things like that, to where you can hide behind things. But yeah, whatever. Then Shingo took on who?
Let's see, we got Shingo, and his first match was Yumura, which was I don't know, did I put that on your list or not? I don't remember.
I don't think you did.
You might go back and watch it. That was actually a decent match. It's the best Yumura's looked so
Yeah.
far.
So like
Which
I
that's
see. Yeah, I seen him on Excursion.
mhm.
Majority of my viewing of Yu Uemura, outside of the pre-Young Line stuff or whatever, was Impact.
Right.
And he wasn't very impressive there.
Right.
I mean, he found like some character stuff toward the end when he got with Joe Hendry. But like, soon as that happened, he started to take off. He was gone back to New Japan.
Right.
But
yeah, no, and I think that's kind of gonna be a theme, is Shingo kind of bringing out the best in some of these younger guys.
yeah, I mean, and he is in that position to where that's his job more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, former world champ, former neverweight champ, freaking former King of Pro Wrestling blue belt that they got now.
Yeah, sure, whatever. That's the thing. Yeah, fine.
I don't know what the hell that is.
No, but, yeah, that's kind of I think that's kind of one of the guys that they really need for the four main young guys. Is get them in the ring with guys like Shingo who can make them better, and having, especially with the tournament, having that singles match competition instead of just the multi-man tags and stuff.
Yeah. So like, I want to talk to you right there. I want to deviate from the list for a while. So as I look at the profile page on NJPW 1972, their official website, I look at the champions: Tetsuya Naito, Sho, freaking Nick Namath, Evil, Matt Riddle, Eddie Kingston, and we got the tag team champions of Kenta and Chase Owens. We got the junior tag champions of Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney, who I believe has a great upside. Maloney does. And then we have Hikuleo and El Fantasmo as the strong open weight champions. So I'm looking at all this. Tetsuya Naito is not long for this wrestling world, I don't think.
I don't believe so either.
I believe after this Wrestle Kingdom coming up, we'll see like the big change in everything or whatever. Because I don't think for this next show that he has against I ain't gonna say the winner in case somebody doesn't know listening to this right now.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there, but I don't foresee a title change there against the New Japan Cup winner. Would I be opposed to it? No. Would I put that energy out into the world that it should happen? Yes. But I don't think it will. I think Naito's story ends at Wrestle Kingdom, and the second phase or third phase or the latter phase of his career just starts to unfold there. But you take Naito off the board, and then, unfortunately, I'm looking at the rest of the roster. Clark Connors is off the board due to injury, so say, which is unfortunate. I tremendous upside for that guy, which I wanted.
You mean Coughlin?
Yeah, Coughlin, Alex Coughlin.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
which he had tremendous upside, and I wanted for the life of me to see him versus Claudio one-on-one. He's out of the picture. So a lot of these other people are freaking non-factors or whatever. There's a lot of young lions. There's people like Bad Luck Fale or whatever, so we ain't going to count them. But all you have left, really, Finley, all the other champions that I mentioned previous, El Desperado, maybe Gabe Kidd, Hiromu, freaking Hiroki Goto, which we'll talk more about, but like that dude isn't like in the twilight of his career. And plus, if they ain't gonna do shit with him, I mean, hell, he gonna wind up like Blue Justice and all the rest of those guys, and freaking Tenzan, who is still on the fucking roster, and all kinds of shit like that. But I'm still scrolling. There's really nobody else.
Yeah, they have lost a lot of the big names, either from them just moving on to being more in that dad status like Tanahashi, or
Well,
they've left
Tanahashi is
for
the man now.
yeah, or they've left for somewhere else. Yeah, it's a really weird transition period for them because yeah, there's only a handful of guys that you could conceivably say they can main event a big show.
Yeah, so with that being said, as I scroll through this roster, because I omitted a lot of names and whatnot, other than the four that we kind of brushed on, you got Yu Uemura, you got Yota Tsuji, you got freaking Ren Narita, and you got Shota Umino, which bona fide, without a doubt, future of this company going forward. But you got people like Zack Sabre Jr. still, who was in this tournament. Got a bye, I think, right?
Yes.
But per your list, per what I see, didn't really hear too much from this guy.
No, Zach lost in his first match to Ren Narita.
Which, one of the four I just mentioned previous.
Which was a big surprise.
Yeah.
I did not have that. I actually, even though I'm a big Zach guy, I didn't have him getting far in this tournament because I think there are other plans for him later down the road.
Yeah, true. And I kind of hinted at that the last time we recorded too. I figured he could have been bona fide one of the ones to win the cup.
But he's also done that before, and it just didn't make a lot of sense to have him do it again.
Yeah. But other than he's good.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if he'd have done it, I wouldn't have been sad.
Yeah. But like, he is a name on this roster that they could at least do something with post Tetsuya Naito. Or even, Wrestle Kingdom or whatnot. And then as I scroll up, fuck, I ain't gonna even put Yoshihashi in that. Tomohiro Ishii can't put him in that. I mean, you got TJP, but I don't think he will go anything beyond junior status.
I know he wants to, but I just don't see it.
Nah. The only people legitimately, and we spoke about it before in the past, that I feel that can, just go beyond the junior status, just into the heavyweight stars or whatever, Hiromu Takahashi and Sho. In my eyes. Sho, Hiromu, and really that's it.
I mean, I know there are people that want Despy to move up, but
Desperado. I mean, God, why did I blank on that? Yeah, those three. Those are the only three juniors.
Yeah,
that I feel that can go into the stratosphere and just like actually become a heavyweight champion. Yeah, especially Desperado in current years. Just going over having that death match and just like I think it exploded from him there on.
Oh yeah.
Just I don't know, man. And then you got Tai Chi, which they teased greatness with, but it's just like he seems to be in that space that you talked about, being big brother, being the guy to motivate and bring out the best in people.
I love Tai Chi, but I think if there was ever a window, I think it's closed.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Unfortunately, I mean, I love his work, but I think if there was ever a chance, it just didn't happen for whatever reason.
Yeah. And then, I mean, that's really it, man.
I mean, the only other name that I can like that you could conceivably put in a main event and heat up enough to where it would, kind of make sense, maybe like a Jeff Cobb.
Yeah, I'm scrolling by him right now. I mean, yeah, but
I mean, not a guy that you're going to put the belt on, but he could be a good challenge.
But that's the point I was just about to bring up. It's as good as he is, as his presence is just in-ring acumen and everything that he brings to the table. he would never be their world champion. He could never
No.
be their world champion because he is always in that position that you just said, to heat up to get to the heights and just be the foil, you know, and that's sad. You know, Jeff Cobb in any company should be at least top 5.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's it. That's it. I mean,
Well,
everybody else belonged to somebody else. You got Mox on this roster. You got Homicide on here for whatever reason. I mean, they just dealing with people.
Hasn't worked there forever.
I know, but it's on their official website right now. I'm looking at it.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's just I believe you perform there at least once or twice. They put you on.
I think he worked like a strong show last year or something.
Yeah, a lot of these people that's on here are working with Strong. So here you go. Look, I'm gonna start from the top. So outside of the champions here, this is their wrestling roster. Look at this. We got Alex Zane. Where the fuck is this guy?
Where did he go? Yeah.
Yeah, look, Bateman. Where the fuck has this guy been?
I didn't know he was still even wrestling. Cool.
Me neither. I mean, you got a couple young lions on here, whatever, like freaking Newman here. I mean, I've seen spurts of this guy. I know
he's one that's gonna be really good in a couple years, but he still needs a lot of work.
Yeah. He's in a weird spot. Him and Shota and what your boy that's with TMDK Fujita.
Fujita, yeah.
Those 3 kind of like it was a weird thing for me because like all 3 of them didn't take like really a traditional type of excursion.
Right.
It was like in-house excursion for the most part, and he kind of fits in that bracket with me or whatnot.
Yeah.
He's like doing his Young Lion and excursion thing right now under freaking United Empire or whatever, kind of like Fujita did or whatnot. He was a Young Lion and he got pulled into TMDK, and he kind of like doing this excursion from within, you know. And I'm not opposed to that or whatever. And like I said, when we talked about it in the past, Mox is the progenitor of this. He is the one that kind of started this trend. When he came to New Japan initially, he took Shota Umino to himself and was like, hey, this is my guy and he's gonna do my shit with me. So I mean, that's how Shota kind of came up through the ranks, and I like that shit. I like that idea at least. And look, my boy, a former guest of this show, Danny Limelight. Where the fuck is this guy? At one point in time, Danny Limelight was at least on 4 different wrestling television shows. He was on AEW, he was on New Japan Strong, he was on MLW, and he was on like a West Coast show like AAW or some shit like that, all at the fucking same time. And like now I'm seeing him down here at Booker T shows and shit. So they ain't doing shit with him. You know, you got Clark Connors and Finley. I mean, we'll talk about that later. Fucking Dick Togo. Oh, yeah, Doki has improved a lot. Or whatever, I believe.
Yeah, Doki's been, yeah, I mean, you can convince me of a Doki Jr. title run at some point.
I was just about to say that. He could, if those 3 guys that we spoke about, Hiromu, Despy, and freaking Show, if they like create that vacancy, like by moving up or, you know, just doing something else, Doki is the guy to step in for that. And I like Francesco, I mean. Yeah. Where the fuck Ross been? You know, I think he only do the US pay-per-view show.
I don't think he's been on any Japan show as far as I can recall.
Yeah. Gabe Kidd, we'll talk about that. Julia's on the way out, right?
Yes.
We don't talk about the ladies too much here or whatever, but you know, she's outbound. Great O'Con, you think they could do something with that?
That's a good question.
I won't even ask you about Hanari, but
I think they're both kind of in the same boat. I think for whatever reason, I don't see the company getting behind them enough to be those type of guys.
For the G1, they had a little bit of fire behind.
They're the kind of guys that they'll be in the G1. They'll have a couple good matches. You can do never stuff with them. You can put them in a tag and they'll be great. But I just don't think they get any higher than that.
Yeah.
Just
Like,
just not everybody can be that guy.
yeah, no. I mean, unfortunately, right? Unfortunately for them.
Yeah.
but like there was a point in time when and we talked about this last time. When Khan came in, he was the shit.
Hmm.
He went after the top guys. He beat the top guys.
Hmm.
And like as far as United Empire goes, to me he was like the de facto second. He was like it was Will than him,
Hmm.
you know, or whatever. He was the mouthpiece for the faction more or less. Even when Will was like in Europe doing other things, he was the forefront of the faction. And just for some weird reason, if you look at his social media, and just the way he's been on TV, he's just there's been some kind of decline in a way. He been putting
Hmm.
he was real stout. Now he's putting a little bit of weight back on in fluffy places.
Yeah, he's looking a little more like a young lion.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe they could turn it around with him because he did fall into the comedy zone for a little bit.
Hmm.
But
And the problem is once you do that, it's harder to come back from that.
Yeah,
Than,
that's why Yano is where
especially
he
there.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yano, the R-Truth of New Japan.
Yeah, because originally Yano was
Hardcore.
he was just a badass heel, and now he's Yano.
Yeah, because like he like R-Truth, there's money in that.
Hmm.
he
And it's a hell of a lot easier on your body.
grab the rope pad,
Hmm.
same stick every
Yeah,
time.
he'll be able to do that for another 20 years.
For real. I mean, unlike Hiroshi Tanahashi and Naito.
Hmm. Who may not be alive in 20 years.
Oh my God, don't say that. Knock on wood.
I do have wood here.
All right, so we got a Hiromo and all that. Look, fucking homicide, like I was saying. I mean, Jonathan Gresham. What?
Oh, yeah.
You know, look at this. Kronos, who was on that shit ass TV show that Paul and them like, I think you should leave. I mean, look at this guy. I don't even. Bad News Wrecking Crew, I forget. He kind of looked like Carly Bravo in AEW, who is also a former guest of this show. Kenta, Kevin Knight. I think his bread and butter lies more with Impact than it does New Japan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing he'll probably be back over for Best of Super Juniors again this year, but
Yeah, maybe Tag League.
yeah, but I mean, it doesn't seem like they're banking on a lot of guys who aren't already there.
Yeah, Fujita. I see some upside with this guy or whatever, but that remains still to be seen.
Yeah, he's still got a lot of growing to do.
Yeah, Kushida. Well, I don't even know what's up with that.
Where the hell is Kushida?
Impact.
Is he?
He's over there. Him and Kevin are over there or whatever. They're doing things.
Yeah.
Sparsely, but you know. And then look, you got the weird thing with Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah, Suzuki's still on the route. That's interesting.
Yeah, but I think he wrote a thing saying that he was on the way out. He's going to do some American shit.
Yeah, I think has he been announced for Bloodsport yet? I don't remember.
I'm not sure. Not 100% sure.
I mean, I feel like that's a pretty likely place he's going to end up first. But
yeah, him and Shayna
he always does them. That's that. I mean, I think both of them say yes to that.
Yes, indeed. You know, Shayna Baszler volunteered for violence, as we saw from a lot of this Rhea Ripley stuff. She volunteered for violence there too.
Yes.
And then Young Lions, Ren Narita, we talked about him. Robbie Eagles. I mean, that's a junior guy through and through or whatever. But
I guess Robbie's still injured. I guess I don't think I've seen him in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
it's been kind of off my radar for a bit.
Yeah, I thought this was Yu Uemura. I was like, hey, and I'm not saying they all look alike, but these two do. And then like Sonata, I mean, I kind of feel like he's a wash now, man.
Yeah. Sonata. Yeah, I don't need to see Sonata in a world title match again. I think we've proven that he's just not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a if you want to put like that what is it now, like the global title, whatever the secondary title is on him, you could do that, but I don't think he's a guy. He just can't put it together completely.
Mhm. And then like I guess he's stuck with himself the way he is. He just like he's accepted it,
Mhm.
you
It's
know.
just, I mean, it seems like it, 'cause, I mean, he certainly hasn't put any extra effort into anything.
Yeah, I mean, other than the makeover and everything, and just kind of
Mhm,
like the way he presents himself, I mean, it's not too different, but like just the change in the hair, the gear, and everything. I
mhm,
mean, that's the only significant difference. And he's a leader of a faction rather than a
mhm.
second or third. But I mean, still same old Sonata, more or less.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so like you speak about that global championship or whatever. I mean, there's been a change in that title from what was it in the beginning to it was the US title, then
Yeah,
it morphed into the UK title, and
mhm,
then now it's the global title.
yeah,
So we had that change at the same time that we had the junior titles change.
mhm,
So we'll speak more about title changes and just revisions when we get to the end of this tournament. Uh Show, once they break him away from House of Torture, I believe he's just gonna through the stratosphere or whatever. One of the three that I said can go from junior to heavyweight just
yeah,
at a drop of a hat.
yeah, and he's the guy I thought was gonna have that change earlier, but,
Yeah.
you know, they're doing what they're doing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think yeah, I think once he breaks off, either breaks off on his own, or, you know,
I don't know. They just
so I mean, how long is Evil gonna be the guy there? Maybe you
yeah,
give
yeah.
it to him, who knows? But yeah, I think once he gets the tap on the shoulder, he's gonna do great.
Yeah, I mean, then you still got Taiji Ishimori, which I mean, I
He
don't
he's
think he'll
he's just kinda lost in the shuffle.
yeah, I don't think he'll evolve beyond where he is.
But I mean, listen, he's still a great wrestler.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, and
Uh,
he's deceptively like he's older than what he looks. I mean,
yeah, oh, yeah, I mean, he's like TJP. They've been doing it forever, but they're not like, they don't look as old as they are.
psh, we already talked about nothing here. I don't even know who the fuck this is. DKC,
I know the name, but I couldn't tell you anything about him.
my guy, Teton, man,
Mhm.
junior
Uh,
heavyweight
uh,
through and through.
if you look behind me over here, this, let's see, is it in the frame. There it is, that gold mask up there.
Yeah, that's one
Teton.
of his.
Yep.
Hell yeah, boy, Teton, and then like he got a little bit of shine on AEW. I appreciated that, but like
Hmm.
that's my guy right here, man.
Now,
He should
it,
be the
it,
junior
it was,
heavyweight champion.
yeah, that wasn't exactly the match you would have picked for him, though. But
Nah, no, hell no.
oh, speaking of which, yeah, I didn't show you this. Got it's a nice OG Chris Jericho AEW T-shirt,
Why would you wear that? Are you trying to trigger me?
because I'm an asshole.
Yes, you're a casshole. Oh my god, fucking Jericho, man. Yeah. So we can exclude this. This is my dude right here, Valdalore Jr. I like him.
Hmm.
I seen the first time I seen him was in Fantasticomania.
Yep.
I forget what year it was, but that was the first time I even got introduced to Fantasticomania. One of my guys that I was in the military with, a Hispanic guy, he texted me because he know how I feel about wrestling. He's like, "Hey man, have you ever heard of Fantasticomania?" And I was like, "The fuck is that? And where can I watch it?" he's like, it's I know you watch Japan, New Japan or whatever, but it's just like a thing they do together. He's like, you got a link. If you got a link to something to New Japan, you can probably see it. So did my research, and on that show, seen this guy, Valdalore Jr., and I was like, oh, I'm all in. Because like
Hmm.
he was the first guy ever in my mind, or to see, to where like he came to the ring, luchador style with the mask on, and as
Hmm.
the mask intensified, it's kind of like freaking Tai Chi, to where like when the match intensified, the pants come off,
Hmm.
you know, and then like with him, when the match intensified, the mask come off, and I was like, oh shit, I like that. I like that concept. I like that idea. But yeah, I mean, never open weight, maybe. I mean, not too much. I mean, you won't be around a lot,
Yeah, that's the thing, that he's
but that's
only.
only my bias though,
Yeah,
because I like him.
yeah.
And then that's it. I mean, this is the end of the roster.
Hmm.
I mean, not a lot of meat to chew on here, man.
Yeah,
I mean, you can call some audibles, you could do some
yeah.
things, but hell. And then we got the title holders here. We got a vacant 6-man thing. I don't had they announced a tournament
Yeah.
or just
They're doing a one night tournament at their Taiwan show.
Taiwan? Okay,
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah,
But
which that should
yeah,
be interesting.
yeah. But just now we're gonna kind of dissect the champions. Go through the champions here. So we'll start from bottom to top since I'm scrolling up. These two, at one point in time, I mean, because we done kind of harped on Hikuleo or whatever,
Hmm.
but at one time, El Phantasmo, to me, in my mind, given the content that they presented to me on on their television and pay-per-views and all that stuff at the time, before the Finley stuff or when the Finley stuff started and everything, you had a baked-in story about El Phantasmo just kind of like either breaking away or even kind of trying to be the leader of Bullet Club or some shit like that. At a point in
Hmm.
time, you had me hooked on that.
Hmm.
But then El Phantasmo went the freaking goddamn Yano route, started being haha funny, doing silly shit. And here we are with this. Look, you're doing hearts in this profile picture, you know? So it's just like, I don't know uh, what we can do with El Phantasmo going
He's a
forward.
guy. He's talented enough. You can heat him up if you really want to.
Mhm.
He's
I mean, he's
that's
always been silly, but like,
yeah. But like you said, especially when he was doing that stuff like after Jay White left, where it was who's going to lead Bullet Club, and he was doing a lot more serious work, and then doing uh Best of Super Juniors and G1 back to back, where he was putting on just
great
banger
matches.
matches. Yeah.
And then like with me, like even before all that stuff, when he was just like a guy within the group or whatever, I seen flashes of like he could be a leader or whatnot. He even has a whole series of move sets or whatever dedicated to Bullet Club leaders of old and
Hmm.
whatnot. He did the Styles Clash. He did the Bloody Sunday. I mean, he did all these moves. He did just like he gave that vibe off to me or whatever. But
Hmm.
it just he kind of pushed to the background until it kind of feels like once y'all figure something out for me or whatever, I'll just chill back here and do what I do.
Yeah.
But going up to the junior heavyweight tag team title holders or whatever, the 75th, 75 pairs of teams have held this title. And comparative to the strong, only 6. But like they just changed the title design or whatever. I don't know why they didn't update the pictures or
Well,
whatever.
obviously they haven't updated this in a while, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, you
but
think they would because look, he's doing the hearts. He hadn't been doing this in a while.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, weird shit.
But yeah, yeah. The new belts are amazing. The white
Yes.
leather looks just killer.
Yeah, they complement the global title.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I said that, and I think they did that for a brief moment in time. I was like, when they unveiled that global title and those junior titles, I was like, oh yeah, that's Bullet Club all day. And they did that for a short while. Finley
Hmm.
had the global, and these two had the junior. Just it was the aesthetics of the thing, just the
Hmm.
triangle, the 3 people holding those titles. But Driller Maloney, tremendous upside to him, and I believe he can go just beyond this company and go do great shit other places too.
He's a guy who he's he's kind of in that same vein of where Shingo was when he first came in, where he is a junior, but he's not a junior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just they
He
talked about that on commentary too. It is
Mhm,
like he is a heavyweight with a junior build.
mhm. He's a guy. If you wanted to move up, you could do it. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know if he's a main event guy, but you could get him up to that secondary level. I feel like pretty easy.
yeah, and it just like the switch was flipped because when he came in with United Empire. They brought him
Hmm.
into that fold or whatever, and it's a drastic difference from the United Empire Maloney to the Bullet Club Maloney, and I
Yeah,
like that
yeah,
because when the switch was made, he became a totally different person, and it's
yeah.
like it's solidified it for me that like I like this dude,
Mhm.
you know, because he showed actual range and everything, and then even like his aggression and style changed in
Mhm.
ring as well. So I like that's upside to that. That's upside to that guy. And like I said, not just within this company. I believe he could succeed other places if he chose to do that. Clark Connors,
he's fine.
so he's all right. It is like I spent a lot of time with him in the dark times during New Japan Strong, and
Right.
I did not like him there.
Yeah.
I did not like him at all there, or whatever. But like when they made the switch and he was like in New Japan, like proper or whatever, I kind of turned a little bit on him. Not fully sold on him, but he's all right. He's all right.
I think getting into this version of Bullet Club with the War Dogs and stuff, I think helped him a lot.
Yeah, and it's weird too. I mean, barring Coughlin right now, it's just a whole bunch of teeny tiny Bullet Club guys.
Yeah, it's
comparatively.
Yeah, because in the past it's been your Kennys and
there's been a marquee member.
Yeah.
There's been a marquee member, and then there's been like stars around him or whatever, to where like it's just you got all these potential stars here, but not like a definitive guy up top, which makes Bullet Club weird right now because you got Finley out there, and it's just like if you're not going to make him win this tournament, if you're not going to put a major title on him, if you're going to say in commentary, if you're going to display the narrative, if you're going to have his character say that, fuck that world title, I want that global title. Yeah.
Yeah. When does that ever work? It's like, hey, I could go after the world title and be the best guy in the company, but I don't want to do that. Why?
That makes none sense. That's like,
I mean, listen, is that where Finley maybe should be? Sure.
Yes.
But also, should that be the guy that's leading one of your biggest factions?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, they got some building to do. We already talked about Owens and Kenta, and the ladies, which I'm not too familiar with either of these. I did not know she was the strong champion.
She just won it a couple weeks ago because they finally had to get the belt off Julia.
Yeah, that is true. And then, like, isn't she going somewhere too?
Not at the moment. It wouldn't surprise me if she does after her contract's up, but I think she's still got at least another year.
Okay.
Yeah. And the interesting thing, because I've seen a lot of people talk about this, is that why do we have this belt, the IWGP Women's title, if you're only going to see it once every 6 months?
Yeah.
Like either and I know they're.
I thought they was ramping up the Stardom stuff or whatever, the crossover things or whatever. But it doesn't look like they're doing that.
Well, it seems like there's been a lot of talk about doing it, but they still haven't done it yet. So if you're gonna do it, great. We can keep the title, give them a spot on some of the bigger shows, more consistently. But if not, then why?
I feel like
why have it?
I feel like if they can work it out, I believe that this company is still in a weird state of flux because you got Tanahashi that just recently transitioned out of being a competitor into a CEO type position or whatnot. So I mean, I think there's still some flex in that area or whatever when they're trying to figure that out. I think Stardom is the one that lost their head guy?
Yes.
So they're still in a state of flux trying to figure all that hierarchy shit out or whatever. So I just kind of feel like it's a weird time. But to your point or whatever, every show that they do, they should have at least one women's match. At least.
Now, I'm not even going to say, because there has always been a thing.
I ain't even talking about a title match. I'm just talking about like to establish contenders and shit.
Yeah. There has always been a thing because New Japan's had, in the past, they've had, a women's match randomly here or there, and the crowds just aren't really into it because it's not, because they're not familiar with them.
Yeah, that's why I say every time you do a show, at least one.
Yeah, like even if it's not like every Road 2 show, just like every couple shows, just throw one on there just to kind of familiarize people a little bit. I mean, if you're gonna have the division, have the division.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like they're hot and cold on this shit all the time.
But because it's not like they don't always bring it. The matches are always good.
Yeah, and it's because like they have a lot of weight on their shoulders. They gotta fucking
Mhm.
perform because they barely there, you know.
Mhm.
And then here we are. We got Matt Riddle and goddamn Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston just recently lost the Continental Crown.
Mhm.
Uh, he he lost the Continental Triple Crown title,
Yeah,
and he
lost it.
lost the Continental title. Actual,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
That
So
that's
there's an
certainly not
actual,
confusing. Yeah.
yeah. He has a title of being a Triple Crown champion,
Mhm.
like just a moniker, a title, and he lost the actual Continental title to Kazuchika Okada, which is wild to me. And I said this when he left New Japan. I was like, you got to go to New Japan, go to AEW and compete for adjacent New
Yeah.
Japan title. You know, it was weird to me or whatever, but like they sure enough did that shit.
Mhm.
But Eddie Kingston, I don't foresee them doing too much with this guy or whatever. I mean, the
No,
same.
but they're not going to do too much with any of that strong stuff. It'll be on the U.S. shows, and if they
Yeah.
change the title, they change it. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. It's like, so with this guy, this lady here, and these two right here, it seems like that whenever they do United States shows, and
Mhm.
even Riddle, and maybe shit, even this guy,
Yeah.
Nick Namath, which we'll get to in a second,
Mhm.
they're ambassadors for their US shows,
Mhm.
more or less. There's familiar enough for the people in the States to know to kind of
Mhm.
bridge that gap
Yeah.
and everything. So it is what it is with that. It's just like it was created out of happenstance because they had those people stuck in the United States for COVID
Yeah.
and everything. So they just kind of like, fuck it. They
Mhm.
training and doing shit anyway. Just turn the camera on,
Yeah.
you know? Because that's how they got
Which
weird shit with Kevin Knight and everything. He was a
mhm.
young lion in the LA dojo during that time or whatever. And Clark Connors and Carl Fredericks and, you know, Coughlin and all those guys or whatever. Just young lions stuck in the States at this time, just in this weird period.
Yeah, I mean, it was good for that period, but
Don't really need it now.
yeah, it's just not necessarily, like you said, it's something to have that looks good on a card for a US show. You have a title match, but other than that, that's about all you're getting with it.
You know, all this fucking nonsense started with this right here. Not to kind of skip over these guys. This title right here, that fucking never open weight championship. All this nonsense started with that.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, once they created this title, then they created the trios titles and the freaking, don't they have a tag too? Or
no,
was it
no,
just the
no, no,
trios?
no, the Nevers is just the singles and the trios.
All right, so they started this bullshit. Then they started that trios bullshit.
But at least the Never title, it at one point it was the
The open weight class, anybody
yeah,
can get it.
and most of the matches were, this is going to be the hardest hitting match on the show half the time.
Yeah, the
And you're
Hoss
like,
title.
yeah, you're like, oh, this is the match you're looking forward to on the show. And now it hasn't been that for a while.
Yeah, because look at this. I'll just scroll through real quick. Look at this, all these belts. They're rolling into AEW territory.
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah.
All right, so I mean, yeah, you know, Kingston and all these guys,
Now
and
I,
you
I
know, I
will
mean,
I will say I it's I get why they've done it, because whenever they were talking about the TV title initially, it was this is going to be the belt for the young guys to get reps and to do all uh,
yeah,
get on the YouTube show and all that, and the champions have been Zack Sabre Jr., Tanahashi, and Matt Riddle.
yeah,
Uh,
and then
uh,
like, I think Riddle would be a good opponent for up and comer to beat. That would be a good story, but
I
they
I
really got
I
to earn it.
listen, I'd be very happy for anyone to beat Matt Riddle.
I like how you said that. And then we don't have to harp on that too much, but
No.
here we are with Evil and Nick Namath.
Mhm.
Uh, I think you know we already kind of talked about Evil or whatever, so let's
Mhm.
roll over here to Mr. Nick Namath. What are you thinking so far, man?
I think the next match is going to be the one that tells you if he belongs here or not. because
Yeah.
he's fighting Ishii at Windy City Riot,
Ooh, yeah. That's gonna be
and if you can't
litmus
have
test.
if you can't have that type of match with Ishii, you're just not going to get it. Because
And yeah, and that's the thing. I have no doubts in this man right here, in Dolph Ziggler or whatever. He can
Yeah.
perform with anybody.
Mhm.
I get that. And Ishii, I mean, not gonna lie, he is when he can bring it, he really can. But sometimes he just doesn't jive with a person, and
Right.
that's gonna be kind of like the test in this or whatever. But like, we talking about Tomohiro Ishii right now. This dude could have been a champion too.
There was a time, yes.
There was a time, but it's just like slow in between. And I can kind of tell you how this match is going to start off anyway. They're going to do the classic shoulder check thing, maybe, but they're going to have that classic back and forth, the punch chop, the bouye spot. And it is always a thing to where Tomohiro Ishii, he always takes the knee on that. He always gives in to either the guy like this, like a Ziggler or somebody like that, or just like somebody his senior, like freaking Suzuki or something like that. Anytime they do the back and forth initially, the first time, he always going to take the knee or he always going to take the flop. It's a given. Chase Owens winning the first round, Tomohiro Ishii going down in the first exchange spot.
Yeah, well, because he's better coming from behind. That was always he's as good as that at the heat up spot as anybody.
Hell yeah. Know who I want to see go against Tomohiro Ishii? And we could damn near sure probably see it.
Who's that?
Him and Brian Keith.
Oh man, yeah.
I want to see that. I want that shit.
I mean, they're both probably about the same size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a knock on either, but
no.
I'm just.
But yeah, I haven't even thought about that. That would be an interesting match you could put on like the Forbidden Door pre-show.
I'm down with that. Hell, you know what only made me think about that is because Ishii does that torpedo headbutt in the corner, and now BK does it too. So that's the only thing that made me think of that. Put the two together. Yeah, but Nick Namath, man, like you said, it'll be the litmus test. A New Japan mainstay versus the newcomer to New Japan or whatever. I mean, a proven commodity in the professional wrestling world. So I mean,
like we've seen him have great matches, but these first two these haven't been haven't really set the world on fire.
Yeah, so it remains to be seen. Now we roll up to the last two titles, the junior heavyweight title and the I can't even talk. IWGP World Heavyweight title. It's weird. Because, there's two lineages tied up within this title right now. So it's only the 8th champion. But who do you perceive, and it's weird that they didn't change this, who do you perceive being the 100th junior IWGP heavyweight title holder?
Oh, that's interesting.
We're going 5 champions in.
Yeah. The 100. I mean,
we won't even count the 5 leading up to it, but about time 100 rolls around, who you think would be the champ?
They do like their milestones. If Hiromu doesn't move up, it's going to be him. I think that makes a lot of sense. If he does, I could see Narita staying down in junior and doing that. That might be his first big thing. That wouldn't surprise me at all. It just depends on if they want to push him up towards heavy or if they want to keep him down. Because I think he could bulk up and go heavier, stay leaner and stay junior.
Yeah,
whichever
it remains to be seen because like you still got 5 champions until we get to that point.
Yeah, so and that by that point, you imagine they'll have made a decision on him. But I would say I'm of two minds between those two. I think it makes a lot of sense. Either you have the 100th be your arguably your best junior champion ever, or your 100th is the future of the division.
Mhm. So, I mean, we speak about future. I could see Francisco or
Mhm,
Newman should probably figure it out by then. I mean, who knows the span of 5 champions from now or
mhm.
whatever? Because like
Because
show, I
because
believe his next title match can be lost.
mhm. Yeah, he could lose it. Yeah, the next match, or he could hold it for another 7, 8 months. Who the hell knows?
Mhm. I mean, if they put any stock in Doki, I would say Doki might be the 100th.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
Me neither. I mean, he deserves it at this point
Yeah.
or whatever. But Tetsuya Naito and Show.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts before we kind of finish off this bracket?
I mean, like you said, I think we're both in agreement, that Naito's not going to be around much longer, at least in his current state.
Yeah.
So whoever he drops the belt to, and I do have some hot takes for that in a minute, but I think he it's really on him to get that next guy
Over. Yes.
over. Yes, like if he's got one last great match left in him, because he hasn't had didn't have a great match with Sonata either time.
No.
And I'd like to think that that was more on Sonata than Naito, but I don't know. Um, but if he has one more great match in him, get that next guy over, because they need
Yeah.
it.
They really do. I mean, whoever takes that title away from him needs to be made to be a bona fide star. I mean,
Mhm,
a legit company carrier.
mhm,
Like you put him on the marquee and they sell out all the things.
mhm.
Yeah. Show, I believe he's gonna have to work his way back around.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no a wasted potential with him or whatever. Other than, I mean, we didn't even talk about him. I didn't even really see him on here or whatever. Or maybe I just kind of glanced over it. Hold on, am I scrolling too fast? I'm almost to the bottom. Where the fuck is Yo? Oh, there he is. Yeah, like I said.
Yeah, even on the roster page, he's hard to find.
Yeah, yeah. Look,
It's
because like he's lit up right now. You take
mhm.
the curse off him. Whoa, where'd he go?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've always liked both of them. I thought both of them, both Show and Yo, were both really, really good. But I mean, both of them kind of had a falling off, and that part of that was injury.
Yeah,
But
because Yo hurt his knee or some shit,
mhm,
right?
yeah, I mean, we well, we're about to get Show versus Show again, so I guess we'll see who's made the strides.
Yeah, he will be the 96th.
Yeah, it's I,
You
I
don't know
I'm
about that, huh?
I have my reservations about what I think they're doing with anybody in House of Torture at this point.
Tell me more. Come on, fuck it. We here now. Let me know.
I think they're going to learn a bad lesson from this tournament, and that House of Torture was helpful for this one time, and I think they're going to keep them more prominent than I would like for a while. I'm very I'm very afraid that I'm very afraid of evil at the moment. I just
You say you're afraid of
I'm
evil?
yeah I oh god I just think that they have a bad habit of learning bad lessons sometimes, and I don't think Show loses. And I'm very the thing that does make give me hope is that Evil has that never title and he'll just stay there, because I don't really want Evil back in the main event picture right now. But they like you said, they don't have a huge amount of guys who are that level, so it's going to have to be somebody.
Hmm. I don't know either, man. do you think, or do you think there's a possibility that the House of Torture could engulf the Bullet Club, or do they have a definitive split?
I think it's more likely there's a split. I'll tell you what I would love is take House of Torture and Bullet Club and have them fight each other for
On
the next
Everest.
couple months. We don't have to do it on Everest. I mean, just just a small hill away from everything else.
Okay, okay.
Ju-
They can
Just
die on their own hill. I got you.
just have them fight it out. We can do Evil versus Finley, and they can be you know do whatever with each other and not in the main scene. I'd be fine with that.
You know what? I I I really dig that idea or whatever. It's just like faction warfare or
Mhm.
infighting between the two or whatever, which leads to the split, which, they can have a whole freaking program even based around that. Evil can come out there with a freaking House of Torture flag and plant it in the middle of the ring and all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Help
You can have them,
do
you can
another one of
have
those
them,
cage matches.
yeah, you can have one of those factions cost the other faction their titles and shit. And that way it frees it up for other legit contenders to
Mhm.
fight for titles and shit like that. Yeah, I'm down with all that. Look, we booked a good show. Hell, you can even have them a special show just for them. Just all, how NWO went against a WCW and it just kind of like
Mhm.
a matches with each other. Fuck yeah. I'm down with that. But let's finish out this bracket. Where did we leave off?
Let's see. I think we're
Because I
in
don't think we
the
even got to Kid. We talked about Shingo.
yeah, let's see where we at. Yeah, that's the only one we got left. Yeah, Shingo and Gabe Kidd, which I know that was one of the matches I put on your list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just go down because you could go back and listen to the episode previous to this, but go down that right side bracket of whatever the first round winners.
All right, the first round winners we have Sonata got the bye, Yoshihashi, Jack Perry, Toru Yano, David Finlay, Tonga Loa, Chase Owens, Hiroki Goto. And then on the other side of the bracket, we've got Evil with the bye, Hikuleo, Shingo, Gabe Kidd, Yoda Suji, ELP, Narita, and Zack Sabre Jr.
Word. So, Renarita, Zack Sabre Jr. We start from the bottom up. What did you think?
I mean, like I said, it was very surprising. I
Hell
did
yeah.
not. I. I. I thought it's. I mean, that's where I had the match. No, I don't. No, I didn't. I had Taichi winning. I had Zack and Taichi. I thought
Yeah.
that was going to be the Techers match, and I thought that was going to be really fun.
Yeah, you
And
did.
they did not give it to me. And then having Narita win, it's a good win for him.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's starting those establishment blocks.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a match that you run back in the G1. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right.
but yeah, as far as I think it was a good showing for him. If you're going to start building these guys, that's the stuff you need to do.
Yeah. So ELP went on against who?
ELP and Suji.
Suji.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I didn't get to watch that one. But
That
'cause
is one you
I
should
don't
go
think
back and watch.
yeah, I'll go back and watch that one because it wasn't on the playlist. But like Yoda Suji, man. My
Mhm.
God. My God.
Yep.
So then it would go Kid Shingo, right?
Yes.
Now, yeah, this was on the playlist. I did watch this and uh still don't know how I feel about Gabe Kidd, man.
I'll tell you this. It wasn't the match I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. It wasn't like I was expecting more of Gabe Kidd like he had in the match with Hanare,
Mm-hmm.
where it was just going to be this balls to the wall, hard hitting, 15-minute sprint of a thing, and it kind of just wasn't. And I don't know if maybe maybe he's hurt a little bit or any number of things, but it just didn't click as well as I was hoping it would. It wasn't bad. It was
Mm-hmm.
still a fine match, but it wasn't. It wasn't. the big show I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, Show is right there on the roster. He's the junior champion.
Jesus Christ.
Badoom. Yeah. But Shingo and Kid, man. Well, I mean, they waylaid the shit out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it was wild. I mean, I enjoyed the hard hitting, and it's starting to be a staple with Kid matches or whatever, to where he just attacked the motherfucker at the beginning of the match, shenanigans outside of the ring, and then eventually we'll get inside and fight. So I mean, that he's kind of establishing that as his character, whatever. Kind of like almost Lance Archer in a way, to where he beating motherfuckers up on the way to the ring and shit. But he is, I guess, put himself out there more since being on the main roster. I'm saying main roster like this WWE speak, but coming from Strong over to New Japan proper. I mean, he was in that tournament, and that's kind of like where all the things changed for him and everything. So I mean, he's still developing.
Yeah, he's still got some work to do, but he's on his way.
Yeah, but we'll see. He wound up going down to Shingo, right?
Yes.
And that led to freaking Evil. Evil went against Hikuleo, right?
Yes.
And Hikuleo lost. Duh. we know that was gonna happen. There's no doubt about it. And it kind of like when you look at wrestling stuff and you see how some of these matches fall in the tournaments, it kind of spoils things for you. Be like, all right, I know how this is gonna go. But like, I mean, that wasn't really the case in the beginning though. Like Ren Narita and Zack Sabre Jr. But wrestling is more tame versus like freaking March Madness bracket or some shit like that. Because isn't some wild shit happening in that March Madness stuff right now?
Yeah, there's been a lot of interesting upsets.
Yeah, but not here. I'm just upset certain people participate.
This upset that Evil's around and Chase Owens is winning.
Yeah, I am upset about that. But go ahead and hit me with the winners in the second round.
Second round. Let's see. We got Sonata, Jack Perry. We have we were supposed to have Finley Goto, but that did not happen. Evil Shingo and Tsuji Narita.
Tsuji and Narita. What was your thoughts on that?
I mean, it was not a match. Like I said, not a match I was expecting, but I think it was a match that I think they're going to go back to many times over the next few years.
Yeah, and I think that was like a thing with them during that G1, right? Like all those guys fought each other, and majority of the time it went to a draw or whatever. So they're kind of trying to prolong everything that these guys have going with each other.
Which I feel like now is the time you stop doing that and start making some decisions, which I think they definitely made some decisions in this tournament. So it was a good match. The right guy went over. Tsuji won because he's definitely the more ready of the two.
Hell yeah. I said that from day one when he debuted, like, Tsuji, give him all the belts.
Yeah, I think we were watching the show. It was a comeback match together. I think we were both up.
Yes.
And I remember you saying, oh, this guy's got it.
Yeah, like soon as he came through, that hood came up a little bit and you saw the smile under that shit, like the Cheshire cat. I was like, him. Him right there. That's the one. Just give him all the things. You know those vacant never open weight trios titles? Let him wear all of them. Give him all three. One on each shoulder, one around his waist. And then when he win this freaking world heavyweight title, he can carry that in his teeth. So he can still have the smile but have a belt there. So give him all that shit. You know what? Fuck it. Give him the global title too.
Just he'd have that Kurt Angle TNA run where he had all the belts. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Or that Sheamus storyline and one of them SmackDown versus Raw games where he had all the belts.
Yeah.
Give him all the things. I want all the things for Yota Shuji. All the things.
Yeah.
Shit. Anything stick out to you prior to the finals?
Let's see. I mean, the Evil Suji match was, it was a nice way to end the House of Torture storyline for the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Suji being the one that finally overcomes the House of Torture bullshit and gets himself to the final. I thought that, like I said, I think the House of Torture stuff weirdly worked really well in this tournament, and I think it helped Suji. I think it helped him get over a little bit.
Well, the next time you think we see Suji brother? His twin.
You know one thing that I was scared of that entire match is that he'd bring him in and then he'd just join House of Torture.
No!
They'd be like, we've got our own Yota Suji.
No, don't do that, please, God.
There's a little thing in the back of my mind. Like, would they ever use him again for something awful like this?
No, don't do that, man. Please don't do that. Oh God, no.
But no, he overcame it. He put in a really good performance, and yeah, I think he, like we said, who knows if this was the original plan, but he stepped up to it really well.
Yeah, I mean he fit that puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
He was that missing piece or whatever. So I mean, Yota Suji, my man, 2023 Wrestler of the Year for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And shit, he might be, give you a spoiler, a preview, he might be Wrestler of the Year 2024 for me. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. So
yeah, the only other thing, I was surprised Goto beat Sonata.
Mm-hmm.
It did surprise me. But I liked it because I didn't need to be teased with another Sonata main event.
Yeah, and it's just like they told a little bit of a story with Goto going forward after that. It was like because he lost his father not too long ago, and he said he wanted to have the trophy and the title to bring to his father's grave to pay tribute and shit or whatever. I was like, ooh, this is a hard way to lose, man.
Yeah. It's compelling though.
Hell yeah. I mean, let's get to the final.
Yep. Hiroki Goto, Yota Tsuji. I think this is, as far as big singles match competition goes, I think this might be Goto's swan song, because I think he's just getting up there. He's got a lot of miles on him, and I think for the most part he's going to be, he'll be a G1 guy. The G and G1 will always stand for Goto.
And it's like, given what I just said about what he said he wanted to do, like honor his father by winning the tournament and having the title to present or whatever, it's just like, I don't see how he couldn't win.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah. But but like I said, I think he's going to be a tag guy for the next few years. That's it's going to be him and Yoshihashi, and who are a good team. They work well together. But I think this was a nice last, at least in what I'm feeling, is a last really good main event where he puts another guy over, which is something he's always been good at. He's always been very good at making people look good, and he made Tsuji look really good in this match.
I mean, outside of Tsuji doing it for himself, but
yeah, that too.
Yeah. Oh man, it was hard hitting. They scrapped the shit out of each other or whatever, and I appreciated that. And it was just like Yota Tsuji shined.
Yeah,
I mean he shined throughout the tournament, but like here, when the lights were the brightest in the main event, he showed out.
Yes.
And he's already established, like, people that have been in a position for a long time. Like, we could speak to John Cena with his his signature move set or whatever, or Randy Orton with his signature movie set. Dustin, signature move sets. All those people with longevity in this business, they have established a set pattern of moves and everything. And I believe Yota Tsuji has already found his niche in that or whatever. He already has an established move set. Like, and he's even adapted it into ways to where, like, you know, they do the thing to where, like, all right, I scouted your shit, so I know what to expect. He's like, nah, I got a counter for that. Boom.
Yep.
And it's just amazing every fucking time. I mean, he wrestles like a person that has been in a prominent position for a long time.
Yeah,
that's what I like about him.
Yeah, he's evolved a lot quicker than you expected him to.
Hell yeah, he, in comparison to the other three, Yota Tsuji, I mean, Ren Narita, freaking Shota, and Yoda. Oh, did I say
Yumura.
Yumura or whatever.
Yeah.
I believe out of the four, he's head and shoulders beyond those three or whatever. I think Shota. I don't think Shota is in second place as far as in ring. I think that goes to Ren Narita. I think he's second. I say Yoda, Ren Narita, Shota, then Yu Yamura. I think that in that order or whatever. But like just aesthetically and just like fanfare, if it's not Yota Tsuji, is a Shota.
Yeah.
It's just like those two are right here. But in ring, Yota Tsuji is just leagues above those guys. It's just weird, like how that all fucking worked out, man. Because like they even, that's why I like, you know, good commentators or whatever. They kind of gave a little bit of its backstory or whatever to where like Yota Tsuji went to Mexico, but he didn't go to like a prominent Mexico company. He went to like some little dirt poor ass company to learn to wrestle. Then he went to like Europe or some shit for a little while.
Which a guy going over to Mexico and coming back and being the guy, who does that sound like?
Oh, Naito.
Well, I was gonna say Okada. That's what Okada did.
Well, yeah, you're right, because they talked about that a little bit in this promo stuff. Because
he trained with Ultimo Dragon first.
Yeah, because I only know Okada from sorry to say, Impact TNA.
Yeah,
you know, I never really knew too much of the lore because I hadn't really been into New Japan all that long or whatever.
Right.
About time I got to it or whatever, Okada was already established,
right,
and everything, and like he was pretty much the household name there or whatever. But like to him to like he went to Mexico, they said he went to Europe and tried to adapt to that style, and they even made that a point in it to where like he said he didn't like that shit. He had a hard time with it or whatever, and went back to Mexico. You know, so I was like, yo, just like the lore behind this guy is like there's not a light. I'm pretty sure you can find shit on Yu Yamura or whatever. Of course, I watched him on Impact predominantly, and coming up or whatever. There's stuff on Ren Narita prominently on Strong and New Japan or whatever. There's stuff on Shota prominently or whatever, but there's not a lot of tape or anything on Yota Tsuji. And that just like
he had a much quieter excursion.
Yeah, him and Great O'Khan, which was weird. Like,
well,
Great O'Khan.
O'Khan's was quiet because it sucks.
Okay. Point taken.
O'Khan didn't get good until he got back.
Yeah, but he was undefeated in Europe.
Well, you know.
But anyway, that's Europe.
Yeah.
Right? That's why Yota Tsuji said he didn't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these two threw it all at each other, and there was like many different times to where like I thought Goto had it. I thought this narrative, this story was written for Hiroki Goto, you know, given, you know, how it wound up in the end. But he threw his big moves at Yota Tsuji, and he wound up getting out. He freaking whipped out shit that I hadn't seen in a long time or at all. And Yota Tsuji still got out, you know? And it was just like that adaptability from Yota Tsuji or whatever to overcome all that stuff and just, you know, small counters, smart counters. It's just, we got the end result of Yota Tsuji winning the New Japan Cup. His first New Japan Cup, his first, I guess, major victory in a way.
Yeah, it's the first time they really pulled the trigger on any of them, and it was in a big way.
Hell yeah!
And now we have At Sakura Genesis, it's Yodatsuji Tetsuya Naito for the world title.
Yeah, and that's April when?
That is, I've got that
Or is
right
that even
here. That
longer?
is, let's see, Sakura Genesis. That's Road 2.
Oh,
April
April
6th.
6th. Yeah, it's the WrestleMania weekend, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Look at that. Sega
You're
Genesis.
gonna have well, I mean, I guess we're there. Let's. What do you think happens? What,
All right, so
yeah.
we're gonna do just like how we did at the beginning of booking this
Mhm,
tournament or
mhm.
whatever. I'm gonna tell you what I want to happen.
Uh-huh. Well, listen, last time your want and happened, so
Yeah. Well, I want Yoda Tsuji to win.
Mhm.
I want Yoda Tsuji to win. Not only that is because the circumstances surrounding him winning this title. What he said in those words to Naito or in some press conference or whatever that commentary alluded to. Yoda Tsuji said that he wanted to dismantle that title. He
Yep.
wanted to dismantle the IWGP World Heavyweight title, which within it is two lineages of titles. It's the IWGP Heavyweight title and it's the IWGP Intercontinental title. Both of those lineages are compiled with inside the IWGP World Heavyweight title. And Yoda Tsuji said to Naito that he wanted to dismantle that title because of the people who held that title previous to him were shit. More or less. He's like, fuck them guys. I don't want none of that shit to do with me in this title. I want the old thing back, or which kind of he alluded to. People think the old IWGP heavyweight title is going to come back, or it's just going to be something
God,
new.
listen, I would love for that belt to come back because that's, I mean, top 5 belts of all time. That thing
Yeah,
is just gorgeous, as opposed to the thing they have now that has wings for some reason.
yeah. I mean, it is a new twist on an old IWGP World title. Like if you look at the women's IWGP World title, that's kind of what their old men's heavyweight title kind of
Yes,
looked like. It looked like that one.
yes. Like I don't hate it as much as I used to.
It grew on me,
Yeah.
especially like no lie, when Okada got it, it looked good.
Well, yeah, but everything looks good on Okada.
I guess.
But I would not be. But so your want
My
is that
want
Yoda
is
Tsuji wins.
Yoda Tsuji wins.
But what do you think happens?
I think Naito retains.
Okay.
I mean, whether it be shenanigans,
Now
whatever.
that's it. Shenanigans, because they're both Lij.
Yeah, it's just like
So if there's shenanigans, is there a split?
So yeah, well let's talk about that. I was just about to bring that up. It's funny that you say that. So when Yoda Tsuji came on the scene, he had no affiliations to anybody. He showed up. I think he speared somebody, right? He fucked somebody up, right?
Yes.
Because like I forget who it was, but like my parting moment of that whole thing or whatever, just that instance of him debuting and doing what he did. Before he stepped out of the ring, he stopped, did the LIJ fist bump, and he left the ring. So at that point in time, he declared himself LIJ. Naito didn't pick him to do that. Shingo didn't call him up on the phone, tell him to do that. He did that himself. He put himself in LIJ or whatever. And then there was like, from that point on, all the way up until this moment that we got here, there's been plenty of times that Yoda Tsuji himself has said he don't have a problem fighting Naito. He don't have a problem fighting Yoda Tsuji or whatever. He's like, he picked this faction because, there wasn't a clear leader. It was just a group of individuals and everything like that. And he felt like he could thrive there. To where like, when you say shit like that or whatever, it's like how Jay White was when he came in. Oh, I'm part of Chaos, but why since I'm in Chaos, I can't go after the title because a Chaos member had the title. It's giving me those vibes,
Yeah, that also gave me an interesting thought. What other group doesn't feel like it has a leader at this point? that we've said that
Oh no.
we've said that there's a lot of guys that are at a certain level but don't have that
Oh
guy.
no. Why are you doing this?
Could could Yoda Tsuji be the first Japanese Bullet Club leader?
Oh fuck. Oh no.
You know,
Damn. Why'd you
wouldn't
put him over there?
wouldn't that be
Fuck.
kind of interesting though?
Hell yeah.
Him as the guy there. I mean, you tell me he couldn't pull that off?
Uh-huh. And then like it would kind of make sense in a way to where like what he was saying about the title is like the people that held it previous, rested on their laurels and you just being lazy pieces of shit and everything. Evil, which could lead to that rift or whatever, or them getting exiled from Bullet Club or whatever, because Yoda Tsuji's the man. He's like, fuck you, get out. So I wouldn't be opposed to something like that, but like, gosh, to pull Yoda away from, I mean, I don't know, the sea's already laid or whatever, to where like he is in a way,
he's not going to be LIJ forever.
No, exactly. He seems like he's the weird problem child of the group anyway, the black sheep or whatever. Because when I look at Yoda Tsuji, he does fit the LIJ mold, but he's still like, I feel like he's still like separate. Like when I see him in a singles match, I don't think LIJ.
Right.
But when I see him stand with the group or whatever, oh yeah, this makes sense. So yeah, oh man, that's an interesting twist, man. Fuck. Oh, damn, that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Kinda. Now, I was hoping you didn't say House of Torture. I was going to get
No. I don't hate myself that much.
All right, good.
But I think they pull the trigger. I think Yoda Tsuji wins. I think Yoda Tsuji. Here's the thing, like you said, this Naito reign was never gonna be, your long 2-year Okada reign or anything like that, because his body's just not there anymore.
Yeah, and it's not even as like, I mean, I know it's a part of his body, but like his knees is shot and his fucking vision is failing, man.
Yeah.
This wild. I mean, the only other person I know fighting with some bad vision is Daniel Bryan and goddamn freaking a go-go. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, Bryan shit was a work, so or shoot or whatever. However, it was just shenanigans, bullshit.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I think they pull the trigger. I think because it's one of those things where I went back and looked at it because I'd never actually gone back to watch it. When Okada won the belt for the first time, it's not dissimilar to how, because they started heating him up just a little bit because he had just come back a few months before, and when he comes out, hasn't won a championship yet, but he looks like a champion already.
Yeah,
you can tell he's just come back, but that's the guy. And Tsuji has a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like you said, like the first time you see him, you're like, oh, that's different. That guy,
and it was quicker too. It was quicker too. It's just bomb. Here he is.
It's like, famously, there was a match before the Tanahashi match that Okada had against Yoshihashi that just completely shit the bed. It wasn't a good match at all. And
Yoshihashi.
Well, especially back then. But and Tsuji, they haven't put him in like the big prominent position before winning the cup. He was just doing whatever. But you give him this big win, and then you have Naito put him over huge at this show. Yeah. And you say, hey, we're officially in this new era. This is where we start everything over again.
Word. Fuck. I mean, but like, all right, Yoda Tsuji wins. Like I said, have no problem with it. But for 9 months, what do we do till Wrestle Kingdom?
I don't think Yoda Tsuji holds the belt for 9 months.
Oh.
I think it's because it's another thing I looked at. Okada's first title run wasn't very long either.
Okay.
I think he only defended it. I want to say. I say he had. It was either 2 or 3 defenses, and then lost it. So I think it's good. I think it's a similar thing. I still, like I said, I think Zack Sabre Jr.'s on to bigger things. I still think I think Yoda Tsuji wins at Sakura Genesis. Zack wins the G1
Ooh.
and challenges at Royal Quest
Yeah, because it's
instead of Wrestle Kingdom.
because it's over there.
Yes,
right?
I think Zack wins the title in his hometown
See, now that does make a lot of sense because
because
when we started, we picked three winners.
Mhm.
I said Yoda Tsuji. We both kind of half-heartedly said
Finlay, yes.
Finley,
Mhm.
but the other one was Zack Sabre Jr.
Mhm.
You know, and you were like, I don't know, because like this is kind of early for him or whatever.
Mhm.
And like if you do it this way that you're speaking,
Mhm.
it gives us time for that or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And then you have a top heel taking the belt away from the new young star,
mhm,
and then you can start building up. Well, who's going to take the belt from the top heel now? Then you've got
yeah,
something to run with for Wrestle King, and then you also don't have that 6 months after the G1 where you're like, okay, this is the main event. What the hell does the next 6 months even matter?
yeah,
Because there's always that lull for however many months after G1 where you're
yeah,
like, I know there's going to be a title match, but nobody's losing.
yeah. And then like I know you're into it more than I am or whatever, but has there ever been anybody putting their opportunity on the line in any matches?
Yeah, they've done it a little bit. Nobody's ever lost the opportunity because they've only done that for the. I don't even think they've done that for. It hadn't. I want to say what is this 24? Maybe the past 5 6 years they've
Hmm.
maybe a little longer, but yeah, because they put the opportunity on the line before
Okay.
for Wrestle Kingdom, but nobody's ever lost it.
Okay. So yeah.
But yeah, I think that does multiple. Like I said, I think it does multiple things for you. I think it gives you, like I said, now you get your new young champion, then you get your top heel that you can build to somebody beating, and you fill in that what's normally kind of a downtime for New Japan every year.
You know, and then you kind of put that bug in my ear, man, about Yoda Suji freaking maybe taking over a faction and everything. Say
Mhm,
they don't even go the Zack Sabre Jr. route or whatever or
mhm,
after the G1 or whatever the case may be.
mhm,
You know, this title is now on Yoda Suji.
mhm.
It's going to be a problem if they don't do some kind of shenanigans because Naito's the leader.
Mhm. Well,
I mean, regardless of what you say
well,
about LIJ, Naito's
yeah,
the leader. And to have Yoda Tsuji there with the world title, I don't know. I mean, I know Shingo was the world champion, but how
yeah,
is that dynamic or whatever? I barely remember it.
yeah. I mean, it was during the pandemic. I mean, you kind of blocked most of that out because it
Yeah,
wasn't
exactly.
it wasn't interesting. Even though love Shingo, but it wasn't what you would want it to be.
Mhm.
But I don't know. You say Naito's the leader. What if he wasn't?
No.
What
What? Yeah.
I'm
I
not
mean,
saying like
yeah.
let's just say it's even a clean win. Let's say it's clean Yoda win.
Mhm.
Maybe that's it for Naito. Maybe he's like, maybe he's like, this is yours now. I'm done. My body can't do this anymore.
Mm.
You
You know
know?
what? You know what? So it's just like I said what I wanted.
Mhm,
You saying what's going to happen is the same thing as what I want.
mhm.
It's just like I, I, I
Either
would I would I
either
would
way,
firmly say that Yoda
what
Tsuji is probably going to win.
yeah, whatever happens as long as it's Yoda.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Fuck. See, that's
I think
why
there's
I
a
like
lot
doing
of
this shit. That's why I like
yeah,
doing this shit because
yeah,
like it just blows my
mhm.
mind, just all the different options that we can come up with or
Yeah, I
whatever.
think there's a lot of interesting. I think there are more really interesting ways this goes with Yoda winning than it is with Naito. I.
Yeah,
There are
because
more interesting options.
yeah, because either that or we could still do the same thing that you said with Zack Sabre Jr., but just with Naito instead. But
Yeah.
I believe it would be more interesting to have it be Yota Tsuji.
I just feel like they need something new.
And this is the only thing. This is the only thing that makes me, kind of makes me say that it's what I want to happen rather than what's gonna happen. You give that title to Yota Tsuji. What does it do to the other three that we spoke about? Ren Narita, Yuya Uemura, and Shota.
Then they're chasing now. Now they're like, okay, this guy who wasn't supposed to be the guy stepped up. Now we have to step to get to that level.
Yeah, because like Yota Tsuji would have earned it in this short amount of time. No doubt in my mind. But when you tout these 3 or 4, because Yuya Uemura, I mean, he wasn't part of the official press release of the big 3, the 3 Musketeers or whatever. But he is kind of still within that realm of those 3. So I kind of put them all together. But you do this press release, this one guy shines above the rest. He gets this world title run. I mean, as a company, what do you do with those other 3? You have to put them in position to
you let them sink or
get
swim
there too.
Yeah. You push them and see if they've got it. That's all you can do. I think Shota will get there. I think they're banking on that. But he doesn't have to be the first guy. You still you have Okada. You still need a Tanahashi.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you the one thing that gives me pause on Tsuji winning.
Pause.
Yeah, is that that we still have that Moxley Naito match at Windy City Riot.
Oh,
that's still currently supposed to be for the title. But I looked at the match lineup for Windy City Riot, and this makes me think that maybe they're going to pull it off. Because right now it's listed as a special singles match, and it is not listed as the main event. Right now, the main event.
Here we go, right here.
Yeah, right now the main event listed for Windy City Riot is Mustafa Ali and Hiromu.
Oh, yeah, and that makes sense because
And why would you? Why would you not have your world champion in the main event? Is it because he's not going to be world champion?
Ooh, okay.
I just thought that was kind of interesting.
You see this? I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay. Yeah, I like that. That is an interesting wrinkle.
Because you don't need that title from Moxley Naito.
No. And then I don't think Moxley challenged him for the title, did he? He just challenged the person.
I think he just said he wants the match, and if he has the title, it'll be on the line. But with the position they have it on the card right now, it kind of makes me think that he's not going to have that belt. No, I could be completely wrong, and Naito will win, and they'll switch it whenever that happens because they just don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But as it stands now, that intrigues me.
Yes. You have dealt me all the intrigue cards in your deck. Fuck. Well, shit, man. Before we wrap this up or whatever, is there anything wrestling wise that you want to put out there for people to be aware of or put their ears and eyes to?
Let me think. Have I watched anything else? I've been a little lax on my non-New Japan stuff the last couple of weeks. I've got some catching up to do with Noah and Stardom and Stardom.
I talked to Noah the other day.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out to Pro Wrestling Noah, the person, not the company.
Yes. We all love Noah. But Stardom did just have their Cinderella tournament, which is their New Japan Cup kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they just did a similar thing to what New Japan did, is they put over one of their young up and coming stars, which was surprising in Hanan. and she I
Not
think
to be
she's
confused with Hyan of New Texas
right.
Pro.
Yes. She's one of the ones that start. I think she started training when she was like 13 or something like that.
Oh, word.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they start training really young.
Very
Yeah,
young. Because it's so much so that they have a title with the prerequisites of you have to be at least 15 years old or at least 3 years experience.
yes. Uh, but yeah, surprisingly, they put her over in a big way, and I think that makes me think maybe the whole New Japan Stardom thing is a youth movement, which
Because they need it desperately.
Yes, they very much do.
We went through the roster. You seen?
Yeah. Which I mean, I think even with people leaving, because we just had that. I don't know if you saw it was a list of people that are leaving Stardom, including your favorite in Utami, which hurts.
It hurts for them,
yeah,
but it's great for me because, like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I have access to a lot of the Stardom in what TJPW or something like that or whatever. But it's just like it's hard for me. It was like that with New Japan too. It's just like it took me a while to acclimate myself to that, that wrestling environment. So I just haven't latched onto it yet. But like I know these people are going to be in things that I see normally or whatever, and that excites me because I get more exposure to them.
Yeah. But yeah, I just like I said, Stardom's still in a better position that as far as main event talent than New Japan is because they haven't had a huge swath of people leaving, but they do still need to start building those younger people. And I think both the companies, I'm hoping, are doing kind of the same thing now.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, like I got some stuff to catch up on, so I'll probably have some more stuff next time. But yeah, I think that's about all I got.
All right. So I hadn't been watching TNA like I thought I would be or whatever. And this like I wanted to get past their last major pay-per-view or whatever because they're still recorded television to where Trinity is still there.
Right.
So it's nothing new happening over there or whatever because I was just kind of waiting till that stockpile of old shit kind of ran its course and whatnot, and they kind of start anew or whatever. So,
and I guess she's winning matches there.
Yeah,
just at least she's winning. At least she's winning somewhere.
For real, right? But like, I'm kind of just waiting for them to run into that new stock of shit because, like, I think the last that I saw, or whatever, Nick Namath as the global champion challenged Steve Macklin. So like that's something new or whatever. It's just like he Skyped in from New Japan while he had the fucking global title and shit. So that was a cool moment or whatever to see that and everything. So it's just like I'll start rolling into it after they finish all that bullshit.
Right. And then Motor City Machine Guns are leaving.
Oh yeah, they're out the door. I think their contracts are up or coming up. And Alex Shelley has already filed for trademarks for Motor City Machine Guns and, the initials for Motor City Machine Guns, all that stuff. So it would be looking like they're on the way out to greener pastures. Or, well, another yard, maybe. Yeah. Greener pastures.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of those teams that they can just write their own.
They slot in anywhere, really. But, I mean, that would lead you to think to why hadn't they done it sooner, if that was the case or whatever. I think because Alex Shelley hadn't been... Not Alec, which one? He was the one that was just champion. Alex Shelley hadn't really been wrestling all that much. I think the last time, like, he really started getting back into wrestling when he tagged with Kushida at NXT. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just a resurgence for him. He coming back into the fold and whatnot. And he's like, well, if I'm going to hang it up soon, maybe we need to run the gambit.
Yeah, let's have one big run.
Yeah, which some people need to just go ahead and do that shit and get the fuck off my goddamn TV. Hardys.
you mean like this
one? That bitch too. I was talking about tag teams, but yeah, him too. Motherfucker. Sorry, son of a bitch. Chris Jericho, punk ass. Yeah, I mean, I really hope and genuinely hope that he just trying to do all this shit with these young guys to kind of like pay dues on the way out. I really hope that. Pretty please. And thank you. Star son of a bitch. Anyway, speaking of people leaving and getting out or whatever, I think that's what we're gonna do.
Yep.
So do you have anything that you would like to plug other than your orifices, maybe?
Jesus Christ. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. Tune into the Patreon.
Yeah. If you want to get, I'm on the RBR Discord all the time. If you're there, if you're not,
which is Patreon.
Yeah, yes, which is only $3 a month. It's the best $3 you'll spend any month. I'm on Twitter. At
getting likes by Chase Owens.
Yeah, at the KAZ Wheeler. If you want to tell me I'm wrong about anything. Other than that, no, that's all I got for you.
Yeah, and you can find us live on RBR Weekly Wrestling Talk Wednesday nights after AEW Dynamite on twitch.tv/RBR Wrestling. And as Cass spoke about, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/RBR Wrestling. For $3 a month, you can get that extensive back catalog, exclusive looks into some of the new shows that we're doing, and that exclusive access to our Discord, where I honestly believe your $3 will be well spent, because I enjoy everything we got going on in the Discord over there. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for joining us for this sparse episode of the Random Rambles with Rob podcast and everything. And as always, we'll see you next time.